What's up everybody, this is Jack from Crypto 49er bringing you on my journey into cryptocurrency. So today it's a barely moving day, the last day and today actually. Bitcoin just kind of haven't moved much, moved a little sideways and that's about it. It's a good sign I guess, that maybe we found the bottom around here, but don't know at this point, so this is not much upward movement at this point. And I think it might be like this for a few days. I mean, we'll see what happens. Looking for some more good news on Bitcoin. I think that's the main thing, and we just haven't seen that. Now that the career FUD is done, that's a good news. But the bad news is just that there's no real interesting information, something that really pushed Bitcoin upwards. Anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about Quantstamp. So what is Quantstamp? Quantstamp, as they say, is the first smart contract security auditing protocol. If you have been in the cryptocurrency space long enough, you have heard of a smart contract. You might not know exactly what it does. You know that it's tied to Ethereum, but essentially, a smart contract is a computer protocol intended to digitally facilitate, verify, or enforce the negotiation or performance of a contract. Smart contracts allow the performance of a credible transaction without third parties. These transactions are trackable and irreversible. So that's the main part that you have to understand. It's irreversible. What that means is, once that contract is written, you can't cancel a contract. I mean, you can cancel the contract, but let's say that if there's a loophole, for a digital loophole per se, which is basically a flaw in the contract, then anybody can exploit that loophole. And that's what's been happening with Ethereum over the past 2 years. It's like the biggest one is obviously the DAO hack. I mean, at that point in time, smart contract was so new in terms of on the Ethereum platform that people didn't know how to write it correctly. Quantstamp is trying to change that. They're not just doing it as a auditing company like most people would expect. Oh, you just have a company that audits the smart contracts. Instead of just having people doing audits, what Quantstamp is essentially trying to do is build out their own network. Let's dive into a little bit here into the white paper. This is how they explain that there's 5 different participants that will be using the Quantstamp network. There's contributors, people that actually are security experts that write code that can be used to test smart contracts. And these code will be open source so that anyone can see and verify that these code are actually doing what they're supposed to do. And then there's the validators. The validators are kind of like Bitcoin miners, what you mine to get Bitcoins. For validators, you are providing your computing resources to let the code that the contributors created run in the network and be able to test different smart contracts that's being sent out by contract creators. And additionally, there's bug finders who will actually just pull down smart contracts from within the Quantstamp network, do some manual testing and see if they can find the bugs themselves. If they do, they'll get paid from the bounty that's sent out. So this whole entire ecosystem is part of the Quantstamp network. It's a really unique setup, and I really like the intricacies of how they're connecting to the blockchain in multiple levels. Here's a technology roadmap. So we are right now in January, and they're currently building the Quantstamp validation node. And this, as they say, it's an augmented Ethereum node. So the validation node is, again, it's going to be the validator. So right now, if you want to be a validator, you can't, because that whole setup does not exist yet. So they're just building it right now. We're looking at April before it gets deployed on the testnet, and August before it goes live on mainnet. So that's one issue I have with Quantstamp, is that it's going to take a bit of time before we see the actual innovation, the actual blockchain that they're actually going to be using. So I know Quantstamp's an ERC20 token, but the Quantstamp network will still run on top of Ethereum. So it's just going to be like a sub-network within Ethereum's network that has special functions where they can actually test smart contracts. My qualm with it is that it's not going to be ready till August, and I feel like a lot of things happen in 7 months time, so that's my one thing. The other thing I want to bring up is that there's a lot of companies that it's already competing with Quantstamp in a sense. So Quantstamp, even though they're building out a blockchain that will audit smart contracts, they are almost overcomplicating it in a sense, just because at the bare minimum level, you already have the process of just hiring auditors, basically security engineers that can look through smart contracts. And you have a company like Solidify, which can crowdsource the process as the same way that Quantstamp is trying to do. Solidify is not the only company. Zeppelin is another company, and there's Experify, and there is SmartDeck. There's quite a few companies in this realm right now. So It really comes down to the fact that I really want to see how the validators work, if they can deploy on April, and we can see it live in action, see how it actually works. That's something that you can truly say Quantstamp has something that's unique, and it's one solid step above all the other competitors that currently have. So something I really want to go over quickly is how a smart contract actually looks like and what Quantstamp actually does. So this is a smart contract. This is some of the functions inside smart contract. So a function inside smart contract is really just like, think about like a calculator where you have a plus, a multiplication, all the different functions, all those buttons, all the mathematical operations. That's what a function does. It's an operation on certain variables, and it might or might not return some value. So in this case, there's a couple of functions. There are 3 functions in this Ethereum contract here: approve, approve and call, and transform from. Point being, there's something called unit testing in programming, and what it is it's a way of testing how the code is written to make sure that the code performs as written. And that's essentially what the contributors for Quantstamps are doing when they're writing code, basically writing unit testing functions to test the smart contract function. And what Quantstamp is trying to do is automate this process to a certain extent. So you can have the validators in this Quantstamp blockchain constantly running new unit testing functions to test against smart contracts. But that again, we'll have to wait until August to really know for sure that it's going to work the way that they say it will. So finally, one good news I do have to say for Quantstamp is that as much as people connect them, and for me personally, I connect them to Ethereum when I think of Quantstamp, they just announced that they're auditing Insight Network's blockchain on the EOS. So EOS hasn't even come out yet, but there's this project called Insights Network that's going to be using the EOS blockchain. So if you watched my video yesterday, now we have at least 2 blockchains that's going to be on the EOS network. So it's definitely worth it to get more EOS tokens. Point being, Quantstamp is not just isolated to Ethereum, and I would really want to see if they can expand their Quantstamp sub-network to actually automate the auditing process on other projects, on other networks like EOS. So right now, the thing is, with this announcement that they have, this is a manual audit that they're doing for Insights Network. So it doesn't really use the automated testing that they're building out. So finally, one other issue I want to point out is that the validator nodes that they're building out right now is not on their GitHub. That's at first kind of concerning because you want to see the validator nodes build out and you want to see the progress that they're making. But I understand why it's not listed on the GitHub, because Quantstamp is a Y Combinator startup. Y Combinator, for people that don't know, they are a seed accelerator. So what it is they help startups in the Silicon Valley build out whatever project they're building out. They're going to help accelerate the process. They have a lot of mentors in place. They have the platform in place to help these startups can show off their product within a certain amount of time frame. So they have to build the product and then within a certain amount of time frame build and be able to show it off. So I'm pretty sure that's the case with Quantstamp's validator nodes. They're not going to show this in GitHub for competitive advantage purposes, but eventually when they have the product ready, when they're able to show it off on Y Combinator demo day in March 19th. So in the meantime, it's hard for someone like me to try to judge how much work is being put into the node validator. So that's the reason why, even though right now it's a 44 cents, it's not very expensive, it's hard for me to say I'll definitely buy a lot into Quantstamp. I mean, I'll probably consider buying some if it drops in price a little bit, probably down to like 36, 37 cents. I would consider buying into Quantstamp. But otherwise, I really want to wait until at least the validated nodes are on testnet in April. But given how a lot of these projects, by the time you wait 3 months, the price of it could probably go up 10x. By April, it could be like $2, $3, maybe $4 even. Who knows? I'm cautiously excited about Quantstamp, so that's why I'll probably invest about $100 into it if I can. Like I said, I'm waiting for the price to drop a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Anyway guys, that's my video for today. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe. If it isn't crypto, it isn't worth mining, it isn't worth speculating. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.